In today's Ayurvedic Minute, let's take a look at what Ayurveda has to say about your favorite beverage, coffee. Welcome to Ayurvedic Minute. Today I feel compelled to talk about coffee. It's one of my favorite beverages. I'm sure it's your favorite beverage. It's the favorite of a lot of other people, and it's been around for a really long time. But coffee, like every other food or really anything that is matter, has energetics, and that has an effect on our bodies. And so in the Ayurvedic system, we classify even the things that we eat as having a dosha or a constitution. And so coffee has three major tastes, and tastes are considered healing in Ayurvedic medicine. Coffee's three tastes are bitter, primarily, astringent, and sour. And so let's look at what that quality is and how it affects our bodies. Bitter is cooling and drying, and astringent is also cooling and drying, but not quite as much as the bitter is. And so cooling and drying can be really beneficial for pitta, which is great. And pitta is very hot, and it's very sort of energetic and driven and ambitious. And the drying nature can be really good for kapha. The other thing that's great for the kapha constitution, because they're kind of slow and methodical and not as energetic and kind of have a hard time getting going or staying going, is that it has caffeine. So if your coffee is caffeinated, it can be really beneficial to get a kapha up and moving, and then once they're going, they can really coast. The one constitution that might not benefit as much from coffee and the bitter and astringent tastes of coffee is the vata constitution, because it's already cold and dry. And if you add the cooling and drying nature of the bitter and astringent tastes, it can overly cool and overly dry the vata constitution. And if you're vata and you're kind of spacey and you move a lot and you talk a lot, you may notice that when you drink coffee, the flip side of that is that you feel just really out of it. Or too much caffeine in coffee can make you really nervous, because the vata constitution is already sort of a nervous system dominant constitution. But coffee also has the taste of sour, and sour is actually warming or heating, and it can even be moisturizing. So that's where actually a darker roast that has more acids generated can maybe be a better idea for vata, because it has more of that acidic content. But for pitta, for sure, the lighter roasts will be better, because they'll have a more floral aroma and not have that acidic nature that comes with the darker roasts. The kapha could really go both ways. It's just that they probably benefit as much from the caffeine as they do from the bitter and astringent tastes. So using the different roasts of coffee to meet your own dosha and not over agitate or over aggravate your dosha can be really important. Pitta being kind of in the middle, but having a nature that's already hot, already sour, already maybe even overly moist, and can be agitated and can have too much digestive fire and maybe even reflux or sensitivity or irritation in the esophagus and the stomach. The pitta has to watch how much coffee they take. And you may already know that. You may already know that sometimes when you drink coffee, if it's really acidic, it will irritate your digestive tract. So that's where a little bit of plant milk, especially, or if you tolerate dairy really well, a cream can be good for the pitta. For vata, you may really be the one who can get away with putting a good quality cream and a really good quality sweetener in your coffee, because it sort of balances out that overly energizing, overly drying, and bitter quality that coffee can have. The kapha person, though, gets the most benefit from black coffee with nothing added to it. The milk would be overly congesting. The sugar is obviously overly congesting and overly caloric for kapha. So black coffee is really the best way to take it for someone with that kapha nature. Now, if you're pitta or vata and you've been overly caffeinated by your coffee, or even too much chocolate, or even too much tea, anything that has excess caffeine, there's a really neat antidote, and that is cardamom. So this is the whole pod of cardamom, but when you break it open, it has these little tiny seeds inside that you can grind up actually in the coffee grinder with your coffee if you wanted to do it that way. You could even just open it and chew on the little seeds themselves, or do a little handful of them after a meal, or make a tea with it. So there's definitely a tradition, like in the Middle East, of putting cardamom in with the coffee. And that's nice because it means that some people can kind of drink it all day long and not be overly stimulated by the effects of caffeine. Also, you can drink decaffeinated coffee. I will have videos to come that talk about different sources of coffee, ways to look at certifications of coffee, and also about the different proven and researched health benefits of coffee for people who tolerate it well. If you don't already love coffee, don't just run out and drink it because I'm talking about it today. You can have another healthy beverage of choice. But if you already love coffee and the taste of it, knowing how it might affect you and how to balance out and mitigate those effects can be really helpful. For vata, never drink cold brew. Always have a hot steaming cup of coffee. You can add a cream or milk of some kind and a little sweetener. For kapha, make sure it's warm. Make sure there's nothing in it. For pitta, you can kind of go both ways. Just not acidic, and don't drink too much caffeine or you'll be kind of revved up beyond belief. So I hope you enjoyed this Ayurvedic Minute, and I hope you benefit from learning a little bit more about how Ayurveda looks at everything that we eat and drink, including our coffee. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel so you can receive new content, including new videos up and coming that explore coffee further. Thanks again for watching, and until we meet again, live long, live strong, and make a difference.